What you are about to see is not a conspiracy theory. Every fact in this video is sourced, every name is documented, and by the time this is over, you will understand exactly how the most powerful law enforcement agencies in American history were turned into political weapons. Chapter 1. The Setup. It began in 2016. Hillary Clinton's campaign was losing ground to an outsider candidate named Donald Trump. So her campaign paid a law firm, Perkins Coie, which hired an opposition research firm called Fusion GPS. Fusion GPS then hired a former British spy named Christopher Steele to compile a dossier, a document packed with unverified claims about Trump's alleged ties to Russia. That dossier, known as the Steele dossier, was raw, unverified intelligence. The FBI's own agents noted that. But in October 2016, the FBI used it anyway to obtain a FISA warrant to spy on Carter Page, a former Trump campaign advisor. The operation had a code name, Crossfire Hurricane. And it wasn't just about Carter Page. Through him, investigators gained surveillance access to the entire Trump campaign. This was an investigation of a political opponent, funded by the other party, approved by the nation's top law enforcement agency. Chapter 2. The Mueller Investigation. When Trump won the election, the investigation didn't stop. It escalated. In May 2017, after Trump fired FBI Director James Comey, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein appointed Robert Mueller as special counsel. Mueller was given broad authority to investigate Russian interference in the 2016 election and any related matters. The investigation lasted 22 months. It cost taxpayers $32 million. It deployed 19 attorneys, 40 agents, analysts, and staff. It issued 2,800 subpoenas, 500 search warrants, and 230 orders for communication records. And after all of that, after 22 months, $32 million, and hundreds of investigators, Mueller found no evidence of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Zero. None. But the damage was done. For nearly 2 years, the American public had been told, by media outlets, by intelligence officials, by members of Congress, that the President of the United States was a Russian asset. It wasn't true. It was never true. And the people who launched that investigation, the people who used an unverified, politically funded document to spy on an American presidential campaign, faced no consequences. Chapter 3. The Durham Bombshell. In May 2023, Special Counsel John Durham released his final report. It was 306 pages long, and it was devastating. Durham confirmed what many conservatives had suspected for years. The FBI opened Crossfire Hurricane without any verified factual basis. Agents were so eager to investigate Trump that they bypassed the normal investigative standards they would apply to any other case. The report revealed that the CIA had actually warned the FBI in 2016 that the Russia-Trump connection was a scheme cooked up by Hillary Clinton's campaign, intended to distract from her email scandal. The FBI was informed, and it continued the investigation anyway. The Obama White House was briefed, Vice President Biden was briefed, Director of National Intelligence James Clapper was briefed. CIA Director John Brennan sent a referral to the FBI about the scheme. All of them knew. And for 7 years, through the Mueller investigation, through 2 impeachments, through the relentless media coverage, the American public was never told. Durham's report concluded that the FBI never should have opened a full investigation. No intelligence corroborated the allegations. The entire premise was fabricated by a campaign trying to win an election. Chapter 4. The Raid. But even after Durham's findings were public, the pursuit continued. On August 8, 2022, more than 30 armed FBI agents descended on Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump's private residence in Palm Beach, Florida. It was unprecedented. No former president had ever been subject to a raid of their home. The stated justification was the handling of presidential records. The National Archives had requested certain documents. Negotiations were ongoing. Trump's legal team had been cooperating. And then the FBI showed up with guns. Attorney General Merrick Garland signed off on it. The same administration that was running against Trump in the next election authorized a raid on his home. The Biden White House later claimed it had no advance knowledge. Documents released through congressional oversight told a different story. Communications showed coordination between the archives, the Justice Department, and White House counsel. The message was unmistakable. The full force of the federal government would be used against this candidate. Chapter 5. 4 Indictments. In 2023, Donald Trump became the first former president in American history to face criminal indictment, then the second, then the third, then the fourth. Federal charges in Washington, D.C., alleging election interference. Federal charges in Florida, alleging mishandling of classified documents. State charges in Georgia, alleging a criminal conspiracy. State charges in New York, alleging falsified business records. 91 counts in total. And the timing was no coincidence. The first federal indictment dropped weeks before Trump locked up the Republican nomination. Each subsequent charge came as the campaign intensified. The judge overseeing the D.C. case was a Biden appointee whose daughter worked for a firm doing political work for Democrats. The prosecutor in the Georgia case had celebrated Trump's arrest on social media before she was assigned to the case. And then, one by one, the cases began to fall apart. The Florida case was dismissed. The D.C. case was dropped. The Georgia case fell into chaos after the lead prosecutor was disqualified for an undisclosed relationship with her hand-picked special prosecutor. By 2025, when Donald Trump returned to the White House, the picture was clear. For nearly a decade, the most powerful institutions in the United States, the FBI, the Department of Justice, the intelligence community, had been deployed against one man, a political opponent, a candidate, a president, and then a former president fighting to return. The Russia hoax was manufactured. The Mueller investigation found nothing. The Durham report confirmed the corruption. The raid on Mar-a-Lago was politically motivated. The 4 indictments were engineered to stop a candidacy, and it didn't work. The American people saw through it. They voted anyway. They elected Donald Trump to a second term with more votes than any Republican candidate in history. What you have just watched is not a partisan talking point. It is a documented pattern, confirmed by a special counsel, laid out in a 306-page report, and ultimately rejected by the American people at the ballot box. If this video told you something the mainstream media never did, hit like and subscribe right now. New videos drop every week, and we are just getting started.